Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting episode of
MomChitChat. Yep.
Happy New Year, ladies.
Happy New Year to
I know.
you guys.
2020. Amazing.
Yeah, just like yesterday.
Right.
In 2019 and today is a new year. This is a new year actually. So you recently ran the Lagos Marathon and we are so proud of you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Superwoman.
Thank you. I don't know about Superwoman. On that day, I certainly did not feel like Superwoman.
What
but,
inspired you?
So I had always wanted to run a marathon. Well, at least in the last couple of years, it was something that was on my bucket list of things I definitely want to do. And this year I thought, okay, it's the year 2020. So it sounded like it would be a good year to run it, like, 2020 marathon.
Okay.
And I can tell my kids, well, I ran in the year 2020. So for me, that was it. And then after that, after I had decided I was going to run the marathon, I also now thought I should probably do it for something greater. Yeah, do it for a cause. And that would also really motivate me to make sure I do the marathon, because training is not easy. I had to change my diet. I had to run for hours and hours per week. It was wild. So I knew that if I had committed to a cause, then that would give me more motivation to be able to do it. So when I thought, okay, yes, this is what I'm going to do, but then which cause? Because there's so many. I knew I definitely wanted to do something with children. I definitely wanted to do something with an organization that's run by a woman as well, because, you know, team women. And so I started doing my research, and then I came across Cerebral Palsy Center, which is run by the incredible Nonye Nweke. She's just a powerhouse. And I had the opportunity to go down to the center as well.
See things for yourself.
And, you know, she's doing such an amazing job with the space that they have, but they need to move to a purpose-built center because where they are now is not really conducive in terms of the way it's built, because they have all these stairs and they have to carry children up and down.
How many kids do they have there?
They currently have about 20 kids.
Wow.
Yes, and you know, all these kids have to be physically carried up the stairs, down the stairs. The kids have to be bathed and fed. So they just needed something purpose-built. So they're trying to move and they're looking for funds towards that. And I just thought, okay, this is perfect.
Fantastic. So how much were you able to raise for them?
Okay. So the goal was 1 million naira. And when I had first said that, I was just like, this is so like, this is ridiculous. How am I going to be able to raise the money? But to the glory of God, because honestly it was just God, we were able to raise 1.4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank God.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Family, friends, social media?
Yes, it was so social media, family, friends. So I really, really thank everyone on Instagram and other social media platforms who specifically decided to support. People who hadn't met me, don't know anything about me, but, you know, just saw something that was worth donating to. And they did, so I'm so grateful. IG fam, thank you. And then, of course, like friends and family as well were really instrumental in helping me reach the money.
Where is the foundation, the center, the Cerebral Palsy Center currently located? Okay,
so it's currently located Bode Thomas, Surulere. So it's right there on the road. So it's not, as you can imagine, Bode Thomas is a commercial street. So you can imagine facilities not that big. It's literally like the size of a shop. If you will. So that's why they really need to move. But they've secured a piece of land in Lakoe, Aja, and that's where they'll be moving to. By the special grace of God, they'll be moving there by the end of the year.
We're so proud of you, Nicole.
So proud.
But I want to ask you, how long did you train for?
I trained for 11 weeks. So typically you're supposed to train for about 20 weeks. I don't know why I didn't. I think the idea came to me too late. And so I only had 11 weeks to train. So, but that's what I did.
And you did this in 11 weeks?
I did it in 11 weeks.
I
changed my diet. Yes, I went vegan.
Wow.
Yeah, I went vegan. Like it's just so much. I've really been through so much, honestly. Yeah. So
you ran on Third Mainland?
I ran National Stadium. So I ran there. I ran Jibowu. I ran on Ikorodu Road. I ran in Bagada. This is all Anthony, before you even get on Third Mainland, did Third Mainland, got into Ikoyi, ran on the Dolphin, that bridge, ran down to Dolphin, ran down Osborne, ran down Kingsway, ran down Bodilon, ran down Lekki Ikoyi Bridge, ran down Osuman.
You deserve all the accolades.
I was just running, I was like, wow, this is never going to end. This is never going to end. But, you know, we made it in the end.
Was he
Thank
happy
God.
with you?
He was so supportive. Like he took me to the stadium in the morning. So he dropped me there, and then he had to quickly leave because they closed the roads obviously for the
Okay,
marathon. So he dropped me and then left, and then would call me every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes I had to give him a location update, like where are you now? And he'll be checking his Google Maps, like, okay, you're doing good, you're keeping up the pace, I like this, you're moving. And then I saw him again in Victoria Island. So he met me at Civic Center, like, okay, just be running, I just want to see you running. So he was looking at me through the bars of Civic Center. And then he met me at Eco Atlantic.
Fantastic.
So when I saw him, he was waiting for me at the finish line. So when he could see me, he started waving like a white towel, like waving, like, oh, you're almost there, you're almost there. I started crying. I was crying as I was running. So yeah, it was really dramatic but romantic. You know, Igbo men can actually be romantic.
Oh yes. Thank you, Nicole. We are proud of you. Please keep it up, and I look forward to your chat with Mrs. Nweke shortly.
Our special guest today is Nonye Nweke of the Cerebral Palsy Center, Lagos. Nonye, welcome to MomChitChat.
Thank you very much, Nicole.
Awesome. It's so exciting having you here. So please tell us a little bit more about yourself and the center and what actually inspired you to start Cerebral Palsy Center.
I usually like to say that I'm just an ordinary mom who at a point got angry. Just angry enough to want to change your circumstances. In 2006, I adopted a baby, Zimuzo. She was 6 days old when she was given to me for adoption. And then 5 months down the line, she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And before then, I was just a regular person, running my business. I was running a fast food business. And so when I adopted her, when she was diagnosed with a condition, that was November 2006. That was the first time I heard the word cerebral palsy.
Wow.
Yes, and I remember the adoption agency at Owari had said for me to bring her back so they can give me another child.
Wow. To bring
yes.
the child back.
Yes, they actually left her, because the way everything happened, I was no worry. Well, when I went to the doctor who told me that she has cerebral palsy, and the doctor was very angry, that saying that I may not be able to bring up a child like that. In fact, I should just take her back. So I went to the adoption agency at the ministry, and they said, madam, you can't manage a child like this, more so as a single mom. I was separated, then now I'm divorced. And she said that they are going to take the baby and give me another. In fact, she insisted, so I left the child. Like I said, I never heard the word. I called my sister, who is a medical doctor, and asked, then I couldn't even call cerebral palsy. What's cerebral? She said, cerebral palsy? She said, yes. So she said, the child may never do this, may never do all this. All I remember was she kept saying the child may never go to regular school, the child may never sit, may never walk. And then I said, okay, that Chizimuzo has just been diagnosed with cerebral palsy. I said, that's a big one. So I left her, came back to Lagos. I was like, there must be something. This is Lagos. So I came back to Lagos, took a night bus. Back then, there used to be night buses coming to Lagos. So I took a night bus, came back. And 13 years ago, internet wasn't what it is today. So, but I had the privilege of having a wireless access on my desk. So I came back and Googled cerebral palsy, and I was just looking at my baby, all the symptoms, everything. And then I was reading, and everything I read, I was just convinced that it was only a mother who could manage a child like this. So I called Oweri and said I was coming back for my baby.
Wow.
Because when I asked them what they were going to do with her, they said, well, they'll just leave her in the orphanage. So I called and said, you know what, I want my baby. And they said, they don't have one. I said, no, you have my baby, that one. So I went and I brought her back.
Amazing.
So 2 years down the line, she was getting older, too much medical appointments, because she had a lot of issues. She had seizures. In fact, at a point, we go for eye clinic, ear clinic, and everything. So by the time it was 2 years going to the third year, it was becoming increasingly difficult for me to manage my business and manage her. And the first place I took her to a daycare, when she was 7 months, that same day, they asked me to come and take her back.
Wow.
that they don't want children like that there, because other mothers will take away their children.
Wow.
But that's a fact anyway. I mean, the woman is running a business, so, and people, I really don't blame people, because what you don't know, you are afraid of.
Right.
So I took her. Then when she turned 1 year, I took her to a center that manages children with disabilities. It was a center that managed all children with all disabilities. And by the time she was there for 1 year, I started asking questions. I saw children with all sorts of disabilities, Down syndrome, autism, and everything. And I was observing that, naturally you tend to neglect somebody who is not very beautiful. By that I mean the eye does not like the ugly. And oftentimes children with cerebral palsy, particularly those on the severe spectrum, they're not very welcoming to the eye. By that I mean the child is not talking, the child is not running, the child is on diapers. So if you're not careful, the child is smelling, the child is drooling, the child most times does not even have neck control. So it's not very welcoming. And those are the children that need a lot of attention.
Exactly.
And oftentimes we tend to neglect them, because the other ones that run around tend to attract your attention.
Right.
So, and back then, much wasn't being heard about cerebral palsy. And when I went to the hospitals, I met mothers who were desperate. They were looking for what to do with their children. And that particular center was charging some money. And you find out that when you go there a couple of years, because cerebral palsy is not treatable, managed, is not curable, you get tired because you are paying money, and you are not you think you're not getting any results,
quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote. So I decided that, and then oftentimes you find a lot of those children in orphanages, in some homes. I say that with all sense of, I don't know, maybe I'm being careful calling them homes, because when you go there, the sites are not often welcoming. The children there, most children with cerebral palsy, they're the ones that are neglected in the rooms, that they're, not looking nice at all. And so people will say they abandon children, they are abandoned. Then I started questioning, why are those children abandoned? Because often when they come in, over the years, they become worse than they were when they came in.
Right.
And I found that it's because sometimes the operators of those homes do not really know what to do with the children. And the thing about cerebral palsy is that if you don't keep sensitizing the children, through the right therapies, the children tend to get worse. Cerebral palsy doesn't get worse, but the symptoms, like, the child either gets stiffer or get fluffier, and the seizures increase, not looking nice at all. So I started reading, and I started looking at what they do abroad. I started seeing centers abroad, seeing places where they manage children, like, thank God for the internet. And by the time my daughter was like 3 years or thereabouts, I found out that I couldn't stay with her alone at home. And also that there were other parents who do not even understand, because they don't have the privilege of education.
Right.
So they do not understand that this is a medical issue. So it was causing a lot of problems at home, as in they are trading blames. Is it you, the wife, or you, the husband? It's not from my family, it's from your family.
Wow.
So I felt that there is a need for people to begin to hear about cerebral palsy, and for people to begin to understand that it's a medical issue. Okay, so I said I'll start creating awareness. The first thought I wanted to do was to have what I call and people coming together like a forum where parents can come together and share their ideas. But I quickly found out that wasn't what was needed, because you create awareness, people are now aware, okay, I know this condition is medical. Then the question is, what's next?
Right.
So the most pressing challenge for the woman, the trader on the street, the yalata, the mamobina who is selling bole down the road, is, what do I do with this child? Because the regular daycares will take the child. So what do I do with this child to be able to still go out and do something?
Right.
So that was when I said, okay, I was going to close down my business and start a center, so that parents can bring in their children in the morning and they can go out. So that is, that's about it.
That's
so that was 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago.
Wow. That is such an incredible story. To think that you took something that was sad and distressing and difficult, and you're able to use that to do something positive, not just for your daughter, but for other people is so inspiring. What are some of the challenges you would say that you face running the center? What are the main challenges?
The main challenge for me is staffing.
Staffing.
Staffing, well, maybe that staffing then again is hinged on finance.
Okay, that makes sense, of course.
It's hinged on finance because, like if you pay peanuts, you have monkeys working for you. Oftentimes, people who support the kind of charity I run are more focused on bringing you rice and beans, noodles, that kind of thing. But you find out that those children, I don't give those things to those children often. But you find out that you need to pay the staff.
Right.
Who will ensure that the children are clean, they are good to look at, who will ensure that they work, they do therapies on the children so that they improve, who will generally ensure that their quality of life is improved. So if you don't pay very well, you have a high turnover of staff.
Right.
So what does that mean? You keep training, you train somebody who works for you for a couple of months, 6 months, 1 year, max, then the person goes up. So I think that's my greatest challenge. Finance, and then which is turns out to staffing. Yes.
Interesting. So how do people react when you tell them about the center? Do you have a lot of support from people for
Ab
the
initio, it was difficult letting people understand that the center is free because people couldn't understand why it should be free.
Right.
And then I will tell you why it's free, why I decided to make it free. Oftentimes children like that are seen in homes, where you have them abandoned.
Right.
So, and they are free, they're abandoned children, so people go there and take care of them. The same us who go there and donate come out to say, those children. In fact, sometimes when people go there once, they don't want to go back again because, the site is very unsightly, repulsive and all that. Then people don't ask why. Reason being that oftentimes the operators don't know what to do to help the children to improve. The people are not maybe paid well. So I said, well, we are the one who go there and support these free homes, so to speak. And oftentimes we are not happy with what you see there. If I run a place where I try to get the families to be part of what I'm doing, because people say, why is it free even when they have parents? I say, yes, I kind of ensure the parents give the children the love. Then those who would have gone to support them for free there can support them because you can now see the children are improving a lot.
Exactly.
Because we track with pictures. Pictures you can't lie with pictures. So what we do when a child comes, we take pictures. A year later, we take pictures. 2 years later. So when you come back, so I always tell people who support us. So initially it was difficult. They didn't know, no, we should let the parents pay. I said, well, if I let the parents pay, it's not like a primary school or secondary school. Your child is in primary 1. In the next 3-4 years, the child is living good.
Do common entrance, then they move on.
But in this case, it's the same. The child is still the same, unless children in the mild spectrum. Cerebral palsy is a broad spectrum.
Right.
So those on the mild spectrum, they don't even come to the center anyway, because when they come, I usually encourage them to please go and register child in a regular school. Yes. But for the kind of children in the spectrum I work with, you find out that they're there 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So when you charge, the family pays. First year, second year, the child is not going anywhere. So she stops paying. If she stops paying, and what happens? The child is withdrawn. Of course, we get other customers.
Of course.
Quote and unquote. But who suffers? The child suffers.
Exactly.
And we know all over the world that cerebral palsy is the most expensive congenital disorder to manage.
Right.
All over the world. In US, it's said to cost about 10 times what it takes to manage a regular child every year. So because of that, I decided that it's going to be free, and we've done it for 10 years. So initially it was difficult, but over time, people walk in, particularly those who walk in unannounced. You come in, you see us, you come back again, you still see the same thing, that children are getting better. In fact, sometimes I hear them. So, this one is getting better. This one looks better. I hear them say that, there are just maybe people who have visited, over the time. So initially, but right now, I can say that things are a lot better.
Okay.
And I can say that. Yes.
Fantastic. And then we've been talking about the center, but let's talk about you.
Okay.
How do you take care of yourself physically and emotionally? Because obviously, taking on this sort of task must be so draining mentally and emotionally. So how do you stay recharged, and how do you stay positive, and how do you take care of yourself in general? I mean, you look fantastic. So So what's the secret? How are you staying afloat?
I will tell you something, right? This one question I always find difficult to answer. I just go because I really can't say, okay, this is one regime I follow. There's one thing I do, but initially it was very difficult. It was quite emotional. You come, you see those children, that's still not walking, that's still not talking. I had to talk to myself a lot. To tell myself that, Nonye, you can't do better than you are doing. You can't do better than what you know. So every day I try to put in my best. And then 2 years ago, I had a fright. I know, because every time we used to go to the hospital with the children, particularly when they come in, they're usually very low, their immune system and everything. And we have this wonderful doctor that we go to every time, so we go on, she takes care of the children. And this guy comes and says, Doctor, Nonye, you know what? I'm never going to treat your children until you come and do a full medical.
Wow.
She said, I'm never going to do that. You can't keep treating children and not take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Then I used to look very horrible. I used to, so I sat down. First of all, she told her nurse to do my BP. She did that. The woman couldn't say anything. She was scared. So I went to see Dr. Gon. He took my BP. It was like 170 something. He said, excuse me, are you all right, Nonye? So he called the pharmacy and he said, go give her this medication to take. Then she should go home, sleep, come back 2 hours later when she wakes up, and we'll go back. So thereafter, she said my BP was very high, and I didn't know.
Wow.
But I was just going, I used to have this headache, So I went back home, came back. She still wasn't happy. She said she was going to so she now decided to do full medical. She did everything. My BP was very high. My cholesterol was very high. Yes. And so I was just moving, So he sent me to prison. So I did everything. I kept saying, if you see something, if you see something, we begin to manage it on time. Whatever,
right.
Because I was scared of doing the pap smear, the breast, whatever. Yes. Anyway, so when I finished, she sat me down. And she said, you know what? You can't just kill yourself trying to do this. Because if you are no longer there, what's going to happen to your daughter one?
Exactly.
And all these people. So, and I did a lifestyle change. So she gave me medication. I said, you know what, doctor, I'm not going to take medications. I'm not very good at taking medications. I know you can heal through food.
Right.
So, and that was what I did.
I'm a big believer in that as well.
Yes.
So what's your current diet like? So what do you avoid? What do you eat?
Okay, first of all, the first thing I did was I took off all oil.
Okay.
I took off salt.
Okay.
I took off granules. I took off granules. I took a lot of carbohydrates. So I eat a lot of, like this one, if I wake up 5:30, my wake up time normally is 3:30, 4 o'clock, because I need to do some exercise for my daughter while she's sleeping. So if I woke up at 3:30, I walk with her for about an hour thereabout before I go to other children. Then I go to the kitchen, I make smoothie for myself.
Right.
Fruits, vegetables, all sorts of things. I just blend it together, everything. Then take a glass full. Then later, then I'll now have my breakfast. It's either cooker oats, I'm taking an egg. So I just avoid fried food, no red meat, fish, chicken. That's all I eat. So
I mean,
drink a lot of water.
You look fantastic. That's why I'm
Thank
asking,
you.
because
Really?
you actually look, honestly, you're radiating. No, you look fantastic.
So that's what I did, and that's what I still do.
And one of the things that I really like about the center, because I've been to the center, obviously, was that you are keen on the nutrition for the children as well. Because I'm also a big believer that you can heal through food, and nutrition is the first port of call. So I like that you do this for yourself, but then you're also very particular about what the children eat as well.
Yes.
And I know you try and incorporate a lot of fruits and vegetables. I mean, I saw that while I was there. So that's also really, really commendable.
Yes.
So what tips and advice can you give parents and caregivers of children with cerebral palsy?
Well, the first thing I'll say is to, I won't say don't feel bad about your child. You will feel, because, when you have a child like this, it's like your dreams are shattered.
Right.
Every woman, every mother, the moment you are pregnant, or like me, the moment you are planning to adopt a child. For instance, I gave my baby name ever before I met her, Chizimuzondu. That was what I gave her. So we have dreams. I had this dream for her. She was going to go to Harvard. I will train her. They will know that even I'm a single mom, she's going to excel in everything. And then suddenly, everything
Dreams are
changed.
dashed.
Right. So you do your cry, then what you can now do is to change your dreams.
That's powerful.
Like I asked myself, okay, what did I want to my daughter? My daughter I needed her to, she'll be one excelling, but I said she can still excel. I can still do something through her. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
Amazing.
So every day, when I look at her, I quickly see the other children, the other 19 children I'm working with. And I'm able to, okay, she's a lot better than some. And I see the progress so many of them are making and have made. For instance, one of the children was 14 on Saturday. Sean was 14, 15. And I went to her grandmom. She wasn't there, and we spoke. And it was like, this is a miracle. Because in 2016, we were planning, quote and unquote, for funeral for him, because he was so sick. You have to, the doctor, at that time, Luth was on strike. We had to call in the professor to come to the hospital where he was.
Wow.
And he was in the hospital for over a month. Our bill was over $1 million.
Wow.
2016. So we are convinced he was going. But today I look at him and I feel happy that I'm a part of that miracle.
Amazing.
So what I tell parents is that it's difficult. That instead of asking, why me, why my daughter, why my child, ask, Lord, what do you want me to do? It was when I got to that, I call it bus stop, where I stopped asking, because you must ask, you must be angry. In fact, I was so angry with God, I stopped going to church. I wake up and say, please stay in your house, I'll stay in my house. Then, I used to ask, why me? You recall all those, why should it be you and everything. And then I now started asking, now, what do you want me to do?
Right.
You're giving me the so every day I feel this is what he wants me to, and that's why I do it with the passion I do it with. Nobody pays in the center, but I tell my staff, we work as if they're paying us in millions. And that is what has sustained us. People who walk into the center unannounced and they're like, how do you do this? Because you see the passion, how everything is said, how the children are treated with respect and everything.
Yes.
Then, and you say, you don't charge? No, we don't charge. We do it so much that you can afford to pay.
Right.
So I tell parents it's painful, and it has enabled me to meet a lot of parents, and I'm able to talk to them from the standpoint of somebody who is wearing the shoes. So it's okay to cry, but don't cry so much, because when you cry so much, your vision is blurred. You can think, positively. So that's what I tell them.
That's so powerful. And then how can other mothers and people around support parents of children with cerebral palsy? What can we do as a greater society for people?
Yes, as a greater society, I say that CP Center should be in every locality. It should be. I have parents who call me from Abulegba, from everywhere. I mean, that's even within Lagos. So if people can support families, because one of the greatest challenges that face parents with children like this is, what do I do? When you wake up in the morning all rested and you don't have anywhere to vent that energy, by the evening you are tired, you are depressed.
Right.
You are going to go back to sleep, you've not done anything, you can't work. So if parents can come together, I tell that to parents, I want to replicate what I'm doing. If I have 3 parents, I always tell them that if you check 200 meters radius from where you live, you will find another family with that kind of challenge you have, because you're not the only one that God loves or hates, depending on how you want to look at it. So if you can come together and say, okay, 3 of us have the same problem. Can we together do something? Right? And then people can support. You can support families like that. It's not just by, giving them food, because people feel better. I feel better if I can fetch my own food. So that is how a society can support. They can help replicate centers like this, so that other parents, some of them may be able to work, some may not be able to work. They will be the ones to run these centers. The most successful centers all over the world are those started by families.
Wow.
I know of one in Australia. I know of one in New Jersey. I know of one in Turkey. I've been to the one in Turkey. I was there for 6 weeks.
Wow.
In 2014. It was started by families that came together. Because CP, just like most developmental disabilities, is a forever thing.
Right.
Yes. So you have to think what happens when the child is 20, 30. Like I said, this is still Christmas for me. My daughter is just 13, but even at that, I can barely lift her. So time will come when I can't even attempt to lift her at all. That I must need somebody to help me to lift her. So we have to think, that way. And it's better when people who share the same problem work together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. This was such a profound interview. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all the work that you do. I'm so honored to have also been, I can proudly say that I was part of the journey in my own very, very small way.
Thank you.
So please make sure you follow them on Instagram and all social media at Cerebral Palsy Center. And you can follow her as well at Nonye CP Center to get more information on how you can support this amazing foundation and NGO. So please check them out.
How did the chat go with Mrs. Nweke?
So the chat was very insightful and interesting. It was very emotional. The woman is just incredible. The fact that she was able to take something so tough and sad that had happened to her, and she was able to turn it around to make it positive for other people and really be helping other children and other families, because when a family has a child with cerebral palsy, it is very, very difficult because the care, it just takes so much. And so to be able to help these other families, and they're also able to get on with their lives and do things knowing that their child is in good care is so amazing and so inspiring. She's amazing. So that was definitely really interesting. And it also really highlighted to me like the love of a mother. Like the love of a mother is so strong and it knows no bounds, and it can help you do things that you wouldn't even have thought that you'd be able to do. Especially considering that this is a child that she adopted, but it doesn't matter. Like when you're a mom, you're a mom. It doesn't matter how you have it.
It's just there.
It's just there, and that's it was just a lot. It was really, really inspiring. I'm so inspired by her. I think she's strong and amazing, and what she's doing is fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
and I also love the fact that there is a center, because a lot of moms, these things just happen and they don't really know what to do. So they can obviously draw strength from her.
Exactly.
And so if they want to reach out to Miss Nweke, they can reach out.
Yes, of course. Platform? So yes, they can follow on all social media at Cerebral Palsy Center. And go on their website. I think it's cerebralpalsycenter.com.ng. So anything that you can do to support would be much, much appreciated. The children there are lovely and amazing. So please, let's do whatever we can.
Sometimes we need to taste, go see what life really is like on
Absolutely.
the other side. And then you begin to appreciate what you have.
Because it's so difficult. It's so difficult. They face so many challenges every day. So it's really incredible.
Well done, Nicole.
Thank you.
So we've come.
Done, Nonye. That's
She does deserve a lot of support and accolades.
But it's really not easy giving selflessly without even
absolutely, and just relying on people's generosity and just hoping that people will be generous enough to keep things going.
Thank you, ladies. So we've come to the end of another exciting episode of Mom Chit Chats. And I hope you did enjoy yourself. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles. On Instagram at MomChitChat TV, on YouTube at MomChitChat TV, on Facebook. And of course, send us your emails, slide into our DMs. We'd love to collaborate with you and partner with you on this journey. Have a fantastic time. See you next week.
Bye.